I'm Miriam Joy and welcome to my studio. Today we're going to be doing a rocket firework centerpiece and we're going to get started on that. I've got this great big one here and I'll tell you a little bit about how I did it as well. And this is all out of recycled materials that I used. And first of all though, we're going to show you a smaller one and it's basically the same thing. You could do it out of toilet paper rolls or paper towel rolls. I actually preferred the wrapping paper roll, like for birthday presents or for Christmas presents, whatever you think would be easy to use. And then because this was a little bit thicker, that's the reason that I like that than like a regular, just a paper towel roll. And we want 3 cylinders. And we need to think about the little one having fireworks on top of it, so it's going to come up taller than that, and we want 3 different levels. So when I did my roll, I cut it at about a 15% angle so that they kind of stick outwards. So I was kind of cutting it at an angle. And this may be a little bit too much of an angle. We'll see here. And you can play with that just for a little bit. And I kind of got in the crease there and it wanted to turn around on me. And cut that point off, definitely. And we're just going to get that so it sits at an angle. And then we'll go ahead and cut one, and then we want the other one taller. But your top is a straight cut. And of course our little firework at the middle is a straight cut on both sides as well. So just really nice and simple. And then I took my acrylic paints, it doesn't matter what kind, and painted them. I did, of course, one red, white, and blue. I striped a couple of them just to kind of show you what the stripes looks like. And then I wrote USA on that because I thought that really helped give it that 4th of July feel. So that was kind of important to me. Now, on our big ones, I used some fun foam. And we're just going to cut our circle out. And what I did was I thought about almost kind of what the size I wanted the circle to be and almost went twice that size. And I used my Miriam Joy template, just laid it down and traced that on the inside because we're going to fold him up and he's going to get a lot smaller. So we're going to make him bigger, because if you think about the size you want him, you'll end up with him too small. So we're going to go ahead and cut this guy really, really quick. And then kind of know where your center is. And if you need to mark it, go ahead and mark it. I'm just going to cut straight into it right about there. And then you're going to fold it. So see what I mean about him getting a lot smaller. So he's kind of right about there. So I'm going to cut that piece off. I'm going to bring him in just a bit. And then I'm also going to take this center and I'm going to cut out just a little circle here to put our fuse in. So we're done with that guy. For my fuse, I used some twine and I just rolled it in some black acrylic paint and it came nice and hard so it kind of sticks up like a fuse there. And we're going to use our hot glue gun. And I'm going to just glue that stem on right there. And then I'm going to glue one side of the lid of my rocket. And then we're just going to hot glue that down. And you want to make sure that ends up even in the back. And if it doesn't quite even, then you can trim that just a little bit more. Now the other thing is when we're setting this down, I'm going to have this part coming more towards the front. So I want to make sure that my seam on my top is in the back. So we're going to go ahead and glue him on. And where my seam goes in the back And kind of look to put that in the middle so he's kind of nice and even on there, and that looks pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and do our little firecracker now. He's going to be a firecracker. So take your poster board and just trace around this and make him a little top. Cut that out, and you'll get your little circle. And we're going to put a little hole into our circle here. Not too big, just enough to get our sparkler part through. And we're going to make our sparkler part out of our 4th of July garland. And however big you want it to be, you can cut that. I'm probably doing about 8 inches. You don't want it too big. You don't want it top heavy. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to wrap it around my pencil. I'm going to leave this bottom part straight there and just wrap that around my pencil. Kind of always put your wire points in so they don't poke anybody. And do about 7 or so of those. If you want more, do more. If you want less, do less. And I like some little ones. I like some longer ones. Whatever you kind of think works. And then you can always pull them out a little bit too if you think they're too far in. So feel free to adjust that to how it works for you. And I forgot to put our lid on here. We got to get our lid on here before we can get these stuck into it. So we're going to go ahead and make sure we have the USA on top. I get so excited about a project. Sometimes I get a little bit ahead of myself. And then we're just going to glue him on. You want to try and get that glue on the inside as much as possible so that it doesn't come through. And then we're going to make sure our hole is just big enough. You don't want it too big to get these guys through. And I have done it where I have put them on and then glued them in and then put the lid on. So you can do it that way too. Either way, whatever works for you. And we're just going to stick that in a little bit further there. So we have our fireworks shooting out. And you usually get one that's not quite in, so make sure you get all of them in. I've got one guy right here. I can tell you he's not in. It'd probably be better to get that glue from the top and then put that part on. So maybe I was thinking right in the first place. But like I always tell you, if I do it, chances are you guys, some of you will do it too. So I can always show you the things not to do. All right, once we get him on and we kind of get him nice and tight, we're going to start placing them all. So I want my 4th of July guy in the front. I've got the USA facing me so that he is the center of the centerpiece. And we'll put him on there. And I'll put my blue one behind him right there. And we always have extra tubes running around. My little guys at Christmas time used to call them dirter tubes because they'd put them up to their mouths and go dur 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 dur. So they were always playing sword fights or something with them. And then we're going to put the last one on the side here. Another thing you could do is you could add a little 4th of July flag to it. Maybe if it needed it in the very back. You know me, I always tell you to put your own touch on it. So I'm going to get this last little guy tucked in here. And I used a wood base. This is just a slice of wood, but you also could use a wooden base that we've gotten in. They're a plaque-like base. You could use those. We are carrying those now at miriamjoy.com, so check those out. Those would be really cool. You could even paint it silver or gold or something fun like that to go with the 4th of July. I kind of like the wood. I thought that was just really cute, but see what a great little centerpiece that was. If you didn't have the twine and you had black, Chanel twist, you could use those as well to come straight out. So there's a bunch of different things that you could use. And I will talk you through how I did my big one as well. This was a fun guy to make. It took me a lot longer to make than I thought I was originally going to spend. But the bases are made out of the paper tubes that you pick up from the newspaper. This is what the paper comes off the rolls. So you would just simply go to your newspaper and tell them you want the empty rolls. And then you have to cut them, and you're probably going to use a bandsaw or a circular saw. And if you've not used those saws before, get somebody that knows what they're doing. They're kind of dangerous saws to be working with, so really be careful with those. And again, I stagger the 3 different lengths, and I cut the bottoms at a 15-degree angle, and I put them onto a wood base. And I drilled in a, I've got these glued down now. I drilled in a dowel, and I've stuck it so it was real secure into the wood about 3 or 4 inches, and I brought it up right about there because these start to go to the side. If you don't want them to go to the side, don't just cut them off straight like this guy here, and of course his dowel was just straight down, so that didn't matter. On the tops of them you could use the foam, or I found these really fun table placemats at Dollar Tree, and I cut my circles out of them, and I took about 1/4 out of them to make their lids, and then you get this really fun design. So I thought that was really cool. And I also got my garland at the Dollar Tree as well. But again, find what you have at home and use that. That's how I'm always coming up with different ideas. Our tubes are from our packing material that we use in the shipping department. So that was a lot of fun. I just thought this was a really fun thing to do. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a wonderful and safe 4th of July. If you need any of our products, come over and visit us at miriamjoy.com. God bless.